Somebody asked me for a stock review on GameStop, so I'm going to do this, even though I think it's a waste of time. Because I think we should know that GameStop isn't a real stock, right? Like, it's real, it's IPO'd, it's out there, you can buy it, you can play it, you can do all these sorts of things with it, but it's not a good investment. It is a meme stock. Meme stocks are not good investments. Meme stocks are parts of pump and dump schemes. And the pump and dump scheme that happens here with GameStop is with Roaring Kitty. Roaring Kitty is very entertaining. I am definitely always rooting for him when he is going against hedge funds and he's bankrupting hedge funds. That's super entertaining for me as a trader to watch. I like less when retail investors get stuck holding the bag of the dump afterwards. And that's what you're seeing in GameStop over and over and over again with this whole Roaring Kitty fiasco. But let's go over why it's not good. Because this is really important for people who are just new to the stock market and they want to know why is this not a good stock? Let's review just my system for how I figure out if it is, okay? So here's my stock checklist. It goes through, do I understand the company and is it a monopoly, industry dominator, and or on trend? So, you could maybe argue that this GameStop is on trend, but it is as a ticker, as this thing, this trading anomaly thing that's happening. But GameStop as a company is not on trend. They're really bad as a company. They're not inventing anything new. And their stores suck, and need I go on? I don't think so. The next metric is, are the 5-year, 1-year, and 3-month charts all up? Are revenue and gross profit on the financial statements up year over year? Do institutions love this stock? Bonus, does it pay a dividend? Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to go through here. And all this information is free on Yahoo Finance. So we're just going to go here and we're going to think about, do we understand GameStop? Well, yeah, it's a company that was a retail store. It was in malls. Malls are somewhat dying in the United States. So I wouldn't say it's on trend. It's off trend actually, because most people are getting their video downloads for their video games. They're getting them online, direct through Wi-Fi, through their cable system. So they're not going to the store and buying these games from GameStop. Okay, so it's a dying company with a dying business model. That's what we know about it. The only reason it's on trend is because Roaring Kitty loved to pump that stock, made a whole fiasco, made himself famous on YouTube, and bankrupted a few hedge funds. And that was fun. That was fascinating. But that isn't reason enough for us to get involved. Okay. Let's look at the charts next. So we understand what the company is, okay? So that's step 1. Step 2, looking at the financials, the 5-year chart. Oh, God, we're clicked on it. This is so bad that I was like, okay, let's change that. This is up. Yeah, it's 2.2%. But what's bad here is that we had all these high points in the past, and we're not up at those high points. And we should be, if this was a decent stock, we should be more in this $50 range. Even if we had a spike in the past, we should be more in that range. But we're not. We're half of that. We're at 24, 44. 1 year. We are up 7%. Wow. GameStop maybe does look good. I'm kidding. Of course. And 3-month, it's up. Okay. So these charts actually do say that GameStop is a good stock by that metric. But the 5-year kind of doesn't. Okay. Because again, I'd like to, if you had bought in here and then you're down here, if you bought in 50s or 30s and then you're in 24, what has to happen for the stock to pump back up? That's something we want to think about here. Roaring Kitty has to come back because the stock is not going to do it on its own. It can't do it on its own. The only reason for these spikes is Roaring Kitty coming back in. This was that whole thing that he did recently, which was pretty wild. Anyway, so let's go back to our stock checklist. So do we understand the company? Yes, and we understand it's not a good one. Are the 5-year, 1-year, and 3-month charts all up? They're all up, but the 5-year is not great because it's been to higher levels before and hasn't stayed there. So then our gross revenue and profit on the financial statements up year over year. So we go to the financial statements and clicking here, and we see that we have 5.6, 5.9, 5.2, 5.2. So those are not up all the time. It seems like the best year that GameStop had is 2022, and it's been down since then. And see how it's continuing to shrink? That's not a good sign. That's the exact opposite of what we want to see. If this number was reversed, 5, and then 5, 2, and then 5, 9, and then 6, that would be a better story. But that's not the story here. Gross profit, 1.2, 1.3, 1.3, 1.2. So again, mixed bag here, going down. Going down. Again, this company isn't growing. We can't expect anything new coming from them. Their CEO has even done some weird things lately, but that's beside the point. Okay, so then, what are we doing next, guys, on our checklist here? Do institutions love this stock? Now, this one might be like hard for you to answer if you are a new trader. But one of the ways you'd know that the institutions love the stock is if the stock keeps rising. And the stocks that institutions love have something like a 20% gain per year. In a market like the one that we are in 2024, 20% and more. So that would be your first signal. GameStop does not have that. The other thing is that all those charts would be rising pretty consistently. GameStop does not have that. I'm trying to think of something else. I mean, you would actually, I think the thing that's really important to remember here is that the reason why GameStop actually has these pumps and dumps is mainly because of retail traders. So GameStop is really interesting as a stock because it is an exception to the rule that institutions determine the stock price. GameStop is one of the few stocks where people like you and me, or it's not me because I'm not buying it, people who really hope to get rich quick off of some sort of GameStop play that are retail investors are the people who are buying this stock. So all of the movement that you see in the stock is really based off of retail sentiment in the stock, which makes it super risky because retail people are not rational. And retail people are in it to play this meme pump and dump. Whether they know they're in a pump or dump or not, I am unclear. Some of them definitely do, and some of them definitely don't. So my thing for you with this video is to get that if you are interested in GameStop or you are thinking about investing in GameStop, you need to understand that you are part of a pump and dump scheme. And you are just a player in that, and you are going to either make out well or you're going to be left holding the bag. Odds are you're going to be left holding the bag. Okay, the last thing, does it pay a dividend? It does not, and you can see that right here, forward dividend yield with this little dash. That means it does not have one. So not every stock that I buy has to have a dividend, but it's definitely a bonus if it does. So GameStop does not clear any of my metrics, and generally speaking, I will not get involved with meme stock plays. Even when I see like an easy entry and exit that I think will be, I am just like, I'm not that greedy. I don't want to get involved because honestly, I am not even intelligent enough or smart enough to be able to time the pullout on when I should get out of the trade. So you really have to watch these things sitting by your computer with these pump and dump schemes and play a game of your emotions about when to buy and when to sell and managing your emotions and trying to figure out what's coming next, which I think is virtually impossible. Okay, for anybody to do who's sort of new to this, and some people who have a lot of experience too. This kind of makes me cringe. If you've got a 25K account and you're throwing 5K at this, whew, it's a big risk. Okay, so I don't like GameStop. That's where I'll leave this.